Welcome to this thing called life.
Hey.
What up?
What up?
Hey.
So,
It's Pat Albert.
today we have a very special guest joining us for this podcast episode, and it is my father, Victor Warhowski. Why don't you say hello?
Hello.
And across the way, through the computer screen, we have Michael Kelly. Mike, what's going on?
What's up, everybody? Good to be back. Episode 6. Wow, we made it this far.
I've tried so hard. Okay. So, as we like to do, we're going to start this off with a joke. And this is the joke. You ready? What side of the chicken has the most feathers?
I don't know.
I don't know.
The outside.
Oh, Jesus.
See that?
Okay.
See that?
Oh, my God.
That was right.
You're the master of dad jokes.
Classic chicken joke.
They're so bad. I feel like my brain just cramps up.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah. So, anyways, how's everybody's week been, Michael?
My week hasn't been weak. It's been strong. It's good. My week was good, man. How was your week?
Long.
Long?
Yeah, it's been long, you know.
Went back to work this week or no?
No,
Or is that
next week I go back to work.
He's been playing Mr. Mom,
Yeah, Mr. Mom.
the role of Mr. Mom.
And
That's me tomorrow.
that's a good segue because we're going to give the moms some credit to
Yes.
start this podcast off. But let's say let's tell them what we have on tap for today, Michael.
Yes, today on schedule for episode 6, we have, first of all, moms not getting enough credit. Then we have balancing careers and family, time, energy, days off, things like that nature. And lastly, we have positives and negatives of social media and all that it pertains. So that is what is happening today on this podcast.
That's right. And that's what we're going to talk about. So, starting it off with the moms.
Moms, do we need them? Should we get rid of them? What's up?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
You just can't beat them.
That's a good one. That's a good dad joke.
That's a dad joke. That's a legit. That's an organic, 100% cage-free, no botanicals, no animals harmed dad joke.
Yeah,
Yeah, just can't hurt. Just can't beat him.
just can't beat them.
Like literally, don't beat them, please.
Right. Where would we be without them?
True.
That is the question. Where would we be without him?
Would we be without them?
We wouldn't be existing
That's right.
because we come out of their vaginas.
Pretty much.
So we kind of need them, right?
We literally need them,
Yeah.
like physically too,
Yeah.
and emotionally, and all that. But physically, definitely, we need them.
Well, can't do it on our own.
Nope.
I can't come out of an imaginary vagina. That wouldn't work. We go out of them, then we go back in them. I don't get it. I don't know what the thing is. We need them all the time.
Oh, you know what the thing is.
Yeah. So, like, you know, the past 5 episodes, all it's been is about dads and this, which is fine because this is hosted by a couple dads. But you know, we haven't talked about the moms, and I know that there's some moms that listen. And, you know, actually today I ended up having some family over for dinner earlier. And the question came up about she was asking, my aunt was asking my wife, she was like, you know, how's David been helping out in the middle of the night? And, you know, like with the baby and all. And, you know, I can't, like, you know, I know there's people that use formula, but that would be a different approach, I guess, for me if we use formula with our kid. But we're not, you know, my wife is, you know, nursing him and whatnot. And we're still going that route for as long as we could, I guess. But, like, that question came up. And, you know, what am I supposed to do if the kid wakes up hungry? You know, I don't have that happening. You know, I don't got the
goods.
Yeah, exactly. The
There's
goods.
no milk down there.
Exactly. To put it straight, yes, there's no milk down there. So, you know, it's obviously a little bit harder for the women if they go that route, I guess, if you decide to nurse your kid and breastfeed your kid, then, you know, the mom takes a lot of the force on that one, you know? So it's like, how has Dave been helping out tonight? You know, I pick him up, bring him over to her. If she's still in bed, you know, here you go. It's, you know, and the kid gets it straight from the tap. That's
Now, when you said pick him up, you were talking about the baby, right?
Yes.
Not the not the milk machines. All right.
No.
All right. Just checking.
Yes, no. Talking about the kid. It's getting hot in here.
Listen, that escalated quickly. I think the thing is that even if you did that, she probably would be like, "Wow, thank you so much for helping." You know,
yeah.
I know my wife would. She'd be like, "Wow,
No,
thank you."
and she has done that, you know, quite a few times for me. You know, telling me thank you, and obviously, which is great. You know, but yeah, that's like the moms. We have not given any credit yet on here, and I just want to say, you know,
Thank you,
moms, because you guys are
We're
awesome.
here because of your vaginas
Yeah.
and your sexual experiences with your male cohort.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's why we're here. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. You're spectacular. No, I think that moms don't get enough credit. You're right. Absolutely. And then you have the working mom, you have the stay-at-home mom, you have the mom
you
who's
have the
juggling.
single moms.
Yeah, single moms
Yeah.
with multiple kids. You know, and I think you know, young guys that have girlfriends that they look at and they say, one day I want her to be my mom, or one day I want to marry her and potentially have a child with her. Those young guys, I think they should be looking for a couple key things. I feel like, I think when I was a young man, I almost married one girl, and it would have been a huge mistake. Not that she would have been a horrible mother, but she didn't have certain things, motherly instincts, I would say, that I would have appreciated as a husband, because as a husband, you see what they do, you know, you see what they're going through, you see the sacrifice, you see all that stuff. And my wife is amazing. She's like the MVP of moms that I know. Mm-hmm. And I always tell the young guys, like, hey man, they come up to me, they say, hey man, my girlfriend's pregnant, bro. I don't know what to do. You know, like, I don't know how to handle this, like whatever.
Well, right.
She's
because
crazy.
You see a lot of people throughout the day, obviously, doing your job.
And of course, yeah. And you know, so I see people, like, they come up to me and they say, what do I do, man? You know, you have 2 kids. How do you handle this? And I always tell them stuff like, you know, like, well, look at our character. You know, what kind of character do you have to become a great mom? You know, you have to be caring, you have to be nurturing, you know, things of that nature. And if they don't, that's going to be a tough road for you, obviously. But there are things that you should be aware, you know, and when picking a woman and you want to have kids one day, these are things you should look at. Look at the very characteristics that maybe if you had a good mom that she displayed. Look for those same things inside your potential mate one day. And I think a lot of young guys, they just roll with what's hot. They see a big old booty and some boobies, but that's not going to be there like that same way after 1 or 2 kids. Things change.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know? And so if you go down that road, things change. And the thing about it is, like, moms take a whole other kind of beauty once they have a kid. They're like a whole different kind of attractive, a whole different kind of sexy. And it takes maturity to see that. And I think a lot of young guys, they're picking up these women that aren't really the best candidates for mommy time, but they just want to practice, you know, making kids instead of actually, you know, have them. But that's a whole other conversation, I suppose. But that's just my advice, man, to you young guys that maybe your girl's pregnant or maybe one day you want to have a kid. Get a mom that has great character. Get a woman who will be willing to sacrifice her time and energy and boobs and body for, and do it right, you know, and don't try to just love or be blind by your little immature desires to, you know, take this woman, because mommy business is serious business.
It is.
There you go.
It is.
Yeah, and you used the word twice, sacrifice, and that's it for moms. You know, they sacrifice everything. They give up so much. to be a mom. The woman gives up so much to be a mom, physically, mentally, sleep deprivation, of course, sometimes a career, to be a mom. And there's no higher career, in my mind anyway, than being a mom. Nothing more important than raising great children or children to be great. And David's mom did a pretty good job.
Yeah,
Thanks.
David
Thanks,
turned
Mom.
out all right.
Yeah. He turned out all right. I had a little help, from his dad, but most of the work was from his mom, and he turned out all right.
Yeah, I feel like dads are like the well, anyway, I guess I'll speak for myself, is I feel like I'm the guy who's like, mom's bowling, and once in a while I get to, do the bumpers on the side. I'm the assister once in a while, but she's really the main bowler, and I'm kind of just trying to help when I can here and there, keep things in balance. But other than that, she's got it going,
Yep.
It's like the emotional, like if the mom starts to get crazy, you got to be there to like keep them level,
Yeah, you're like, look, you go get your nails done,
Right.
and
Yes.
I got the baby for a couple hours. Get the hell out of the house.
Exactly. Go get your own time. That's it.
Right. Or just go back to bed, get some rest, because you were up in the middle of the night. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got this. Yeah.
And that's the sacrifices us as men have to take when you have a child, and unfortunately there's some crappy situations out there where the dad doesn't want anything to do, you see it on TV a lot of times on these, talk shows like Maury, for instance, going back.
Jerry Springer.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been home too much during the day if you're starting to watch that. Man, you need to go back to work, boy.
No, bro, Bar Rescue's been my go-to, but I'm just saying.
Sitting around watching
called you
Maury.
out, bro.
Sitting around watching Maury. Come on.
You are not the father. You are the father. Guy's like, I don't want anything to do with it. I'm out of here. But no.
David's just walking around with a baby in his hand, like, yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's right. But yeah. Well said though, Mike and Dad.
Yep.
Yeah. So
The lie,
Yeah, so shout out to Mom.
detector shows you are not the father.
that's right.
Dude, oh my god, the lie detector. I found out that the lie detector isn't even fail proof. It's like really dysfunctional piece of equipment. I found that out recently. It's crazy how. Anyway, we should do that on another episode about things that we think are like regular and culturally acceptable, but then like science is proving that they're totally like not even a real thing. Like the lie detector. It's interesting. Only DNA is true. Lie detector, not true.
Right? Like what?
It's crazy,
like
bro.
It measures your heartbeat and like lets you like like how could it know if you were lying exactly?
Yeah, like you sweat if you're a sweater.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or maybe you may have bad Thai food, and so you want to shit, so you're sweating a little bit. Oh, he's sweating. He's lying.
Yeah.
I had Thai food. I'm sorry, Jesus. Like.
That's a good topic. Yeah, we should totally talk about that next week though.
All right, let's write that down. I'm gonna write
Yes.
that down now.
Yes.
Go ahead and introduce the next
right.
thing. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, so next thing we're going to talk about is balancing your career and family life. And there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that I know who, are at work for a long time, and some people say, I don't want to go home. So it's like, how are you supposed to balance that? And I guess, that may even be that may even branch off of that a little differently, I guess, because that means you're having trouble at the home life probably.
Right.
But yeah, let's keep that off, I guess. So more balancing it and making time for family.
Like a how-to, or like maybe something like that. Like a how to balance it, and a how to be aware of your time and energy that you're spending in which direction. I think it's important.
It is.
When you're in love with your job, and when your job can consume you easily because you love it and you find yourself thriving in it, I think it's very easy to get carried away in one direction.
Yeah,
because the thing.
And sorry to cut you off, but that's, just I'm gonna use you as example because you do travel a lot, and that's got to be hard for your wife, especially now that you got a newborn too, and all that, and you travel a lot doing your barbering and leaving the state or even country sometimes. So it's like you'll be the best example, I guess, at explaining this for the most part.
Well, I think on the spectrum of the because we should probably cover both spectrums. On the career spectrum of it, I love what I do. Work doesn't feel like work often. It only feels like work until I get home and I put my feet up and I realize, shit, my back hurts, my feet hurt. I haven't slept in properly in a couple of days. That's when it kind of feels like work. But like when I'm in it, oh man, I can get carried away. I love it. I love work. So work is like hobby, but I get paid for it. It's wonderful. So it's easy to get carried away in my career. It's easy to get carried away doing a lot of extra stuff because nowadays barbering is more than just cutting hair and going home. It's no more a 9 to 5. It's now like post in the middle of the night on Instagram, travel to teach, travel at event, make an appearance here. All these things that are new. Videography, photography. I have to learn all this stuff. So it's social media really blew that up, which we'll talk about later. But the time and energy, you need to be aware, and it's important to have somewhat of an organized schedule in your life, because without a little bit of organization and discipline, you really will fall off the hinges. So you got to be grounded in some kind of like organized time structure, something where, we've talked about this before, like maybe quiet time with yourself, because the one thing that happens is we as men get carried away with our career, and then we get home, and then we want to have we talked about this in episode like 3 or 4, like our nut, our one thing that we don't compromise, whether it's have beer with guys or go bowling with the dudes or have our alone dude time. We get carried away with doing stuff, and we forget to just take like 30 minutes to an hour to shut the fuck up and just be quiet for like just a little bit. Because when you have that quiet time and take care of yourself like that, you're going to see your time and energy in front of you, and then you're going to find solutions to, all right, you know what, my wife, she seems a little disturbed with the baby. Maybe I should go ahead and let's get her some time away. I'll take care of the baby. When she comes back, I'll make dinner, put the baby down. We'll have alone time. You know what I mean? We'll practice making babies more, to make our relationship better. Whatever the case is, this is an example, obviously. But, that's my thing, is like I need quiet time. Sometimes it's just sitting in the shower for a little bit too long and just shutting my eyes and zoning out. Or maybe it's just going for a walk by myself. And that usually helps me recalibrate what is happening in front of me.
Interesting point. You have anything to build off that?
Well, yeah. For me, it was a matter of priority. I purpose. You got a purpose to make your wife, your children, a priority over your job, because they come first. They're, jobs come and go. It's a lot easier to get another job than it is to get another wife. So it's prioritizing, and you have to put them ahead of yourself and your job. That's just the way it is, and it works. I've been married 35 years, and it's not because I'm a great husband. It's because I lay down my life for my wife. She came first in everything. Whether it was my career or where we live or whatever, making her happy, as they say, happy wife, happy life, right? Mm-hmm. And that's true. That's more true than, a lot of other things. So prioritizing, guys need to prioritize wife, family, children, job.
Yeah.
That's just my 2 cents,
That's really good.
Which you can get for 5 cents.
This is actually a free podcast, but
yeah, just send, mail your check to Vic Warhowski, 1125.
No, yeah, it's true, and like I was talking about earlier though too, and how I was saying, I see guys like just hanging around and like after work and whatnot, which is fine. They want to talk to people. They want to BS with other dudes and whatnot, and other guys and whatever, everybody. Like I see these guys just like hanging around, but me, it's like I get back, all I want to do is go home because prioritizing, you want to make sure that happy wife, happy life. You want to get home. You want to help her out. All of that, and it's totally the same thing. You got to prioritize that.
Every relationship is different. Every couple is different, but the values and the principles are all the same.
Yeah.
Everyone's different. I think my wife is so independent that I think if I died, she would be totally fine. Like she'd just keep going without me, because she's so independent. She's so on top of most things. Like I give her all the credit in the world. And it's crazy because, like you said, as much as I am away sometimes, a lot of guys can't do that. A lot of guys can't do that in their relationship. And I think it's credit to my wife is that she's so independent that I feel like for me, it allows me to be that way. But in the back of my mind, I'm constantly like, I need to get home. I need to get home. I need to get home.
Yeah.
And that's
I've
going
had options, where
sorry. No, sorry. And like real quick too, that's going back to what we were talking about too, giving the wives credit, giving the mothers credit, is because, it, like, I know I've heard my dad say, I even heard my mom say too, that it takes a special woman to basically date or whatever, be a UPS driver, because our schedule's never consistent. Some days we'll get home at 5 o'clock. Other days we may be getting home at 8, 9, 10, depending on the time or, the season, if you will, and whatnot. And it would go the same thing for you, because sometimes you have to leave and you got to pack up and leave. It takes a special woman to be able to, I guess, handle that, survive
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
And sorry, just wanted to throw that in there.
No, that's absolutely true. Is like sometimes you're at the mercy of your career in some ways, and it's the career you chose. It's the career that you have. It's what you do. It's what gives you value. It's what puts bread on the table. It's what pays the bills. It's what makes you you. And I think that it's important that we get to do that fully. And I think it's also important on the woman's side that a woman understands a man needs to do that fully as well, because it makes him better for her. In every relationship, it's always like a two-way street. So it's kind of like it's just like, I think with anything else in life, there's a little bit of compromise on both sides to help it all go smoothly. And it's crazy because I know guys who, and on the flip side, I know guys who are family men, so much so as they don't really work too much. And I think that's kind of cool too. I see that happening. Obviously, it's like more unique cases, but I've seen that happen. And it's interesting that some men are so family oriented that they really don't have even friends outside of their immediate family, their kids and their wife. They really don't get to too many events. They don't get to hang out with the guys. If they work overtime, the wife is like, where are you at? So there's the other spectrum of it too, where it's like, whoa, dude, like, and some guys love that. They love that. So, I mean, that's cool. I just could never be that dude who's like, oh, I have to be home at 5:05. Otherwise my wife is going to send me that text. Like, where are you? Sorry, I'm hurrying up, like, Jesus, like that would drive me nuts. I would lose my mind. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, it'd be horrible.
Yeah. But like, are those guys at the more family man, are they possibly whipped? A little, I think the wife's got them by the. I think the wife's got them by the balls.
You know what? I have to go somewhere on this because I feel like this is something I can speak about a little bit more and help these young dudes up, help them out a little bit. Because like, okay, so every relationship is different, like I said, right, and unique. But when you're young and you're in a relationship, everything is like emotional high. So when you're gone and you're at work for a little bit longer, she's gonna misunderstand and be like, "Why'd you come home late?" And vice versa with the guy. Hey, why'd you get home late? You talking to some dudes? Insecurities all over the fucking place, right? It's gonna be like that for a while.
Yes.
It's going to be like that. Like, guys, I'm telling you guys, I'm one of the realest motherfuckers you're ever going to be on any podcast, okay? I'm telling you, this is how this shit works for a couple of years. And for some of you, your whole fucking life, which I'm sorry for you, but that's the way it's going to be. But what I'm saying is that you're going to go through those times. And eventually, if you work on those times, if you work on your relationship with your significant other, eventually you'll get to a place where you can really fully chase your career. And you can really fully chase what you want as a man. And if you want a career doing whatever you want to do, you can do that. But you have to take care of your priorities. And like Mr. Victor said, priorities come first. Wife, kids, then career. You don't go ahead and throw your career ahead of them saying, oh, well, I'm doing this for us, blah, 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 blah. That mentality will get you screwed because relationships take way more work than careers take.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You won't level up in your career if you just stay in the job and do what you got to do. Even if you half-ass your job and just stay committed to it, you're going to go up the ladder eventually. Even if it's a fucking slow climb, you're going to go there. But with a relationship, the energy and time that it requires to build human bonds, that's the most valuable thing you have in life. Not money or cars and like that. But it's super hard to do that. So when you can have a great relationship with your wife and your kids at home, and they know daddy's out there busting his ass for me, like he's killing it right now. So when he gets home, we're going to treat him like he deserves to be treated, and that he can be the best for mom and the best for me. because the thing is like, I think that everyone in our lifetime wants to speed everything up. We want to have the white picket fence. We want to have the BMW. We want to have all this crazy shit, right? But what we don't understand is to get that, you have to get the basics of being a human first. If you can't have empathy and compassion, these basic things, you're never going to have. And if you do have that, you're going to be alone. You're going to be miserable. You're going to be lonely. You might have that shit, but no one's going to like your ass.
Right. Because that stuff doesn't make you happy.
Tony Stark said it, man. Like he once he finally got his life together, Tony Stark met Pepper Potts, and Pepper Potts is his boo thing.
Shout out to Iron Man.
I'm gonna make Marvel references probably the entire podcast because I love Marvel.
Iron Man was just playing on TV earlier this morning. It's okay. And then Doctor Strange, and then Captain America: Civil War. There's a whole Marvel thing going on this channel. So, anyways,
and poor Captain America is so old school. He's got his priorities so well put that the new generation doesn't even know what the hell to do with him. They're like, this guy's a straight edge. He doesn't even cuss. What is up with this guy? Poor guy can't even find a woman. He's like, no, sex before marriage? That's horrible. I'll never do that. I'm Captain America.
I'm Captain America.
Oh, man.
Anyways. So yeah, that was some good input though. Like, prioritize yourself, guys. Priorities.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, okay, you want to move on to the next one? Do you got anything else you want to add? Anybody?
I think we're good on that. Balancing career and family is a specific thing. It's individual, but priorities, things of that nature, they help you understand where it works. Some of us will work 40 hours a week. Some of us will work 60. Some will work 20. Some will work 80. It all depends on your career, your job, what makes you happy, where you are in that timeline in your relationship with your wife and your family, where you are in that bond will allow you to do more career-wise, more sacrifices. You tell your wife, I want to create my own business. And you guys have been married enough time and you guys have developed a relationship far enough where she's like, I've known you long enough. And you know what? You really do want to create this business, and we're going to pull out a $10,000, $20,000 loan to invest in some, whatever. Okay, honey, I believe in you. Let's do this because she knows you well enough, and you guys have a bond where she'll say, okay, go ahead and chase your dream. Like, let's do this, and I'll help you. I'll support you. But if she's texting you, where are you? It's 5 p.m. You should be home or you should be off. That same woman is not going to be like, yeah, let's go $20,000 in. And
right.
I believe in you. It's not the same woman, bro. It's not the same one. So I think like it all depends, it all depends on where you're at. You're going to find the balance, and that balance will change over time. And then hopefully one day, you end up retired and just drinking pina coladas on an island somewhere.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
And we'll wrap that one up with that one. We'll wrap up that subject to end it there. So, last but not least, the third subject of the day, we're going to be talking about social media. And I think we got a good example here with us, our special guest, because, unlike us guys, we kind of grew up with social media when it first started. And these guys, our parents, the generation before us, they didn't have any of that stuff, computers, nothing, until they already, had their lives established, I guess, if you will.
Hold it. What are you saying? And like I'm old?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? We didn't have electric. We didn't have,
You had Flintstone cars.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't call you guys old. I call you guys leveled up. You guys are just at a higher level than we are right now, and that's what it is. This is below your level. I feel like.
Yeah, there you go.
So where do you want to go on this one? How do we want to start?
Well, let's ask your dad a question, because from what my understanding is, the word social, I always break down words to understand what we're talking about, obviously. But in your dad's era, you went to socials. They were like, dances at school.
Right.
There were proms. There was get-togethers. Meetings, even like at work or whatever. But you guys had social interactions, like organized ways where people would come together and be like, hey, humans.
Face to face.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to face-to-face each other. We're going to sit down. We're going to break bread.
Yeah, real FaceTime. Real FaceTime. Not. Yeah.
So tell me, I think this is the insight. The insight you're going to have is going to bring a lot to these young guys. But what do you think the main difference is between a social interaction face-to-face in real life, and a social interaction on your cell phone or tablet or laptop. What do you think the major difference is
Oh,
as far as like positives and negatives?
yeah. Well, being misunderstood, when you're face to face with someone, you can see their intention. You can see whether or not they're joking or, stuff like that. But stuff you put out on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, you really don't know the heart behind it, necessarily. And so things can be taken out of context, and arguments and hurt feelings can come out of that. So face to face is, will eliminate that sort of thing. But I always thought like with the internet and that sort of thing, it's like a gun. In the right hands, it's a great weapon. In the wrong hands, not so much. And you get people that, they just misabuse. No, misabuse is not a word. Abuse. If you misabuse, then
Misuse, misuse.
If you misabuse, then I guess you don't abuse. Anyway, well, see, we'll figure that out.
Misabuse is like being pansy, but go ahead.
Yeah, something like that.
Like you're being a pansy. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. Hey, respect your elders. But anyway, but in the right hands, the internet, social media, keeps you connected. There's a couple hundred miles between David and I now, where I live versus where he lives. And, the internet's great to connect that way, but there's nothing like what we're doing right here, being side by side, seeing each other face to face. Nothing can take the place of that. So I don't know if that helps or answered your question.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. And I think it's funny because the younger generation on social media, one of the big terms they use is vibes. Everyone said, oh man, that guy had a really good vibe whenever they meet someone in person, because we see each other on social media so much. And when we actually meet each other in person, it's like, oh, David had a cool vibe when I met him. Like he seemed kind of like this on social media, but then when I met him, he was like, oh, all good vibes.
Right.
And it's like, it sounds so silly when they say that, but what they're really saying is like, when you're in person, there's like nonverbal communication that we give off with our body language, all these factors, the positive energy that we bring with us, and the way we say things and how loud or how soft or how our shoulders back, our shoulders down, like all this stuff that we look at when we see somebody, their tone of voice, everything, that is a vibe that we're giving off. And a lot of these young people don't understand that is so important, especially when you have a real face-to-face with someone who is really genuinely like cares for you and who genuinely really has best intentions for you and really does have good positive energy, because that kind of stuff rubs off on you way more in a longer sense than just seeing like a positive quote on Facebook. Like,
Right.
Work hard, hustle. Gary Vee says this, and then you swipe it up and you're like, oh, okay, cool. I'm inspired. Yeah. And then goes in like 5 minutes. It's like an endorphin and then it's gone,
Yeah.
When you're in person, one interaction with a human being can make a life choice after that. Like, it's crazy.
That's a good way of putting it.
What about you, Dave? How do you feel? I know you have a feeling about social media. You've touched on it before.
Yeah, and like I've said before, it's exactly like what my dad said too. Is that the positives about it is because it keeps you so connected still, even though you're miles and hundreds of miles away from each other. It keeps the family all connected because your family moves. It keeps me and you connected. Because you're down in Texas, I'm up here in New York. So there's the positives about that, but the negatives, which obviously we've touched on before, is you got some dude hanging out behind a computer that can talk smack about you like the whole time, and then it's like you're gonna hide behind a computer screen the whole time, like like, and if like you're saying, if you had that face-to-face interaction, it's like you may be like, oh, this person is actually like a really like nice guy. And like he was saying, like my dad was saying, is you don't know if someone is joking or not really, I guess, or like he said with the hand, the gun in the hand type of thing, is that this guy could be a real bad guy, obviously, and could be a real like doesn't have many friends probably. That's probably why he's on social media down talking to everybody.
Absolutely.
Is obviously he's not a very nice person, to put it put it the nice
Yeah.
way.
No,
But
you're
but what you were saying though, Mike, about the vibe thing and getting off the good vibe, right? So, I mean, I guess this is kind of like a catfish type thing. You know what I'm talking about, the MTV show Catfish, right? So like, I'll tell a quick story here. So I met these two guys online playing hockey, Rob and Dylan, who both live in Vegas, right? I met these guys online playing hockey one time, and never met them before in real life until a few years ago. And we were playing hockey with each other for like 9 years. And, we exchanged cell phone numbers and everything like that, and all that. And we would text each other, hey, where you get on to play, yada, yada, yada. And then, I knew it's weird because you almost knew their personality even before like we actually met each other in person, because we ended up meeting each other. Rob ended up flying over here to one time from Vegas, the first time I ever met him, but we met online playing hockey. So like, it's like, I guess that could kind of go with, you can kind of relate that to, I know this is going to be a terrible thing, but kind of like how you have these apps, these Tinder apps, these dating apps, and all of that. And, you connect with someone, through social media. I guess it doesn't have to be in a love type of way, but, you connect with someone on social media, and that could be another positive thing because it's kind of like social media, I guess, the Xbox gaming world, right? You can talk to people, you can write, leave, whatever. But I ended up meeting them in person, and they're all such cool dudes, And we talked, like I said, for like 9 years, and then I finally met them in person. And it was like such a cool experience about it. And so it's like the communication-wise and everything could kind of relate to social media in a way, and a positive about that,
No, absolutely.
But then again, it could
positive is
also
that-
be a negative. But like, that face-to-face interaction, when I met him, I was like, this dude is just like good vibes. And
just-
like, that's exactly
yeah.
what it was.
It just sucks because most people are good. They're good people. Most people really are good people, man. And I think the more I travel, the more I meet people, the more I realize they're good. But your dad said two words that I liked were context and feelings, because these are the two things that I always seem to fuck up all social media interaction. And it's someone reads something, and maybe they just read 2 sentences out of a paragraph I write, but they're not reading the context. They've never looked at my page. They've never taken the time to see what I'm about. They just take 1 or 2 sentences from one post about something particular and specific, and then they go ape shit and want to talk shit about it, which is fine with me because I'm at a level now where I feel like I'm mature enough to go, you know what? Let's deploy a little bit of empathy here and be like, you know what? Maybe this person's a good person. Maybe they're having a bad day and want to take some steam out of me. Instead of doing their homework, they decide to use me as a target. That's fine. I can take it. Whatever. I understand human beings. But context and feelings is like huge, right? Because you can hide behind a keyboard when you're feeling angry, when you're feeling sad, when you're feeling whatever, and you can hide it or you could display it. And you can display it for everyone to see. No matter what it is you're feeling like, if you want attention that day, you can just show a booty picture, if you're a chick, or show some boobs or whatever. If you're a dude and you're feeling insecure, you're going to go out on the street and you're going to take a picture of a Ferrari and act like it's yours, but not say it's not yours, but just give the illusion that it might be yours, but it's not. But now everyone thinks it might be. You know what I mean? Things like that. That's the bullshit that I see every single day. And I think that's a part of it is like context. It's like, guys, take into consideration what this person is about, what they're really. It drives me nuts because I get a lot of engagement on Instagram, and it drives me crazy every single day. There's always someone that's going to misunderstand something because they didn't take the time to fully look at the picture. And that drives me bonkers, bro. It drives me apeshit. And when you're in person and someone does that, it's usually like someone you just met who doesn't really know you. So you can explain yourself. It's like, you know what? Let me expound a little bit. Like, you just met me. Let me give you a little background on me, right? If someone does that to you that you know, it's a little bit different. There's a genuine disagreement there, and then you can actually have a great discussion or argument, whatever you want to have about it. But on social media, there is no good arguments. There's no good discussion. Everyone on Facebook and Instagram is like, fuck Trump. Because you're an asshole and you're inconsiderate. And you know what I mean? So like,
because
there's
of
all
one
these keyboard
thing
warriors
that they don't agree with. Because of the one thing they don't agree with, they just want to down talk you.
Right.
Oh yeah.
You both could love hockey and Tom Brady and whatever the fuck you like, whatever. But don't you disagree on that one subject, boy. Woo! If you do that, you are a bad human. You are a bad person.
Yeah, and like you said, you see that all the time, and we just talked about that too. How your one post blew up the other night on the last episode with the whole fade cut and all that, and yeah. So we don't have to go through that again, but
Yeah.
Yeah, and on the internet, you can misrepresent yourself. Like you said, Mike, hide behind the keyboard and the computer screen. Where when you're face to face, what you see is what you're getting. You're representing yourself. You're there. You're out there. You can't hide. But and that's obviously could go down that road. Just talking about how older guys with bad intentions misrepresent themselves. Well, I'm tall, dark, and handsome, and looking for love. Meanwhile, you're old, fat, and ugly, and misrepresenting yourself, and maybe you got bad intentions to lure somebody. Anyway, my point being is that you can misrepresent yourself and hide behind there, and I'd rather do it face to face. I mean, I understand the place of social media and where we're going technology wise and all that, even though I'm older or leveled up, even though I've leveled up a little bit.
Yes, you have. Yeah.
Yes, I have. But, so I get that. So again, there's good and there's bad. There's, it has a good place and sometimes it can be used as a bad place.
I like it. I think for business purposes, I love social media now. It's created business faster for everyone. Right. And matter of fact, some people do all their business on a cell phone now. Yeah. Where every business move they make, some business owners literally manage their business from their phone. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Yeah. It's pretty wild. Yeah. So in some ways it's great. In some ways it's bad. Yeah. But I think there's one thing to be said about meeting in real life. We should never lose that no matter how advanced we get with social media. Whether social media goes VR and then we can literally see each other. Like, if you frown in VR, like Ready Player One, you frown, I can see you frown. Even if that is the case, we still should never lose the actual contact that we have. Like, you ever give someone a hug and you really needed a hug? Nothing can replace a hug when you're feeling bad. Nothing. Not 100 likes on Instagram, not nothing, bro. Literally getting a handshake or a hug or like just something like that, that is the best. There's nothing to replace that.
Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned the whole like thing because I watched that documentary on Netflix the other day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think it was I'm a Living Meme or something like that. And it's all about these people that are literally just on social media just for the likes, and they thrive off that. And it blows my mind. Like, that documentary blew my mind. I was like, these people are nuts. That's what I felt like. I was like, these people live their life on social media. Like everything. They're like, I got to take a picture of this and this because this is going to get this many likes. This is going to get this many likes, Oh my goodness. And dude, that stuff blows my mind.
And it gets worse when the likes transfer into money. Like I get paid to be on social media. So for me, I do care about likes. I actually do care about it.
Right.
Is it my sale end all? No, I actually care more about pure, real interactions with people. Mm-hmm. So like actually genuinely having conversations and like engagement with people who will be my followers for years to come. But yeah, likes matter somewhat. But to the point you were making is that I think you're talking about when people have like that endorphin rush when they get a compliment. Right. Or when someone's like, yo, bro, nice car or nice shoes or whatever. That endorphin rush still existed before social media, but social media just exploited it like super hard. It's like cocaine. It's like, Bill Cosby said a joke. He was like, cocaine, they say cocaine is the drug that makes you feel 100 times whatever you are. So, if you're an asshole, you're a big asshole. You know what I'm saying? So like that's social media. If you're a really good dude and like you're good at displaying that content, you're going to do really well as a good dude. People are going to be like, hey, that's a good dude. Mm-hmm. But if you're an asshole, you're going to be a skyrocketing asshole. You'll still have tons of followers and likes and whatever, but you'll be a skyrocketing asshole. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. So, I mean, I think Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's a prime example because here's a guy who is famous in Hollywood, but what you see is what you get. People who have met him have said, this is the same guy you see on Instagram. It's the same dude. And that's Dwayne. Hardworking, doesn't give a shit. And that's Dwayne. Like, that's who he is. He's The Rock, you know? And I think he's a great example of how you should be on social media. This is who I am. This is how I live. Here's my life. Boom. And I think it's authentic and it's real. Yeah, maybe we don't see him drunk on tequila, maybe, but, you know, maybe we shouldn't.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we shouldn't.
Yeah, dude.
Or maybe we should. That'd be good reality TV. I don't know.
Maybe we should. All right. You have anything else to add?
No,
Okay.
no. Well, yeah, I do.
Sure.
I do. I'm going to make one more point just about the reality of being together versus, just texting or even
FaceTime, yeah.
FaceTiming or anything like that. You know, there's nothing like being together like we are right now. You know, I mean, I can talk to you on the phone. I can, FaceTime you and see you and the baby and the family, or you can send me pictures, whatever. But there's nothing like the real deal of face to face, being able to touch and hug and like you were saying, Mike, handshake, hug, whatever when you need that, and just to show love. I mean, obviously I love my son and he loves me, and there's nothing like being able to hug each other and express that, versus just saying it or putting a heart on Facebook or something, I heart you. That doesn't quite mean the same to me as, when I come here and my son wraps his arms around me and gives me a hug and says, I love you, Anyway, there's nothing like the real deal versus the internet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think emojis do not replace real affection. And like affection is like a real thing that people are lacking today. That's why I think we have the situation we have is they don't have affection anymore. We're raised without affection, so we're searching for it in other areas, and there are superficial places where we're finding it. But there's nothing like a real hug, man.
Yeah.
I'm not even a hugger, bro, but in the past couple of years, and maybe it's me having a daughter too, is that I've been getting soft. I'm getting kind of soft, bro. A daughter will do that to you,
Yeah,
you
they
have
will.
a little girl and she's petite and she's feminine, not like the boy. The boy smelled and you could be rough with him and you're just like, hey, walk it off,
Yeah.
But with a daughter, you're like, oh, she's an angel
Yeah. Yeah.
sent from heaven.
Yeah.
And you have all these feels inside. I'm a very cold dude. So like with my daughter, and now I'm looking at people different. I'm looking at girls different. I'm looking at women differently, The respect that I have is different. It's like, man, like I'm emotional right now. And when you actually give someone a hug, there's something different about that, I don't know. Holding a baby as opposed to looking at a baby on Instagram, totally different,
Yes, sir.
I had an aunt and uncle, and they just came here, and they had never been to El Paso. First of all, they're from Buffalo, New York, and I'd seen my uncle and aunt in like, dude, 15 years or some crazy shit.
Oh, wow.
So they come down here, and I hug my uncle, and I just forgot what it was like to hug my uncle.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what he smelled like. I forgot like his shitty clothes he wears. Sorry, Uncle Dick, I love you, but dude, he wears white beaters most of the time. But when he came down, he looked amazing. He looked really, really good. And but just like my aunt and all that, and just hearing their voice and their sarcasm, you get a little bit of like, so this is where I'm from. This is my uncles. This is my aunt. Like, these are my people. These are who I am. You don't get the same feeling when you see a post on Facebook or Instagram. But when you hear them talk, the way they're sarcastic, the way they joke, all these things, you go, oh, that's a little bit of me right there in them, and you see that and you feel that. You don't get that on social media. You don't get the same interaction as that. And it made me remember like all the happy times we had and all that. And it also made me think that like, I just need to get out of the bubble of social media and all that, and make time, be intentional about making time, prioritizing, making time to go do that with more people than just with my kids, but also my dad. Maybe take a trip up to New York more often and see my old folks. You know what I mean? Maybe go visit my friend Dave Rahowski in Kingston, New York, and go skateboard with him and stuff. And, have a bagel or a pizza slice or something. You know what I mean? Like whatever, But like there's definitely an irreplaceable piece to that.
Right. So basically, what we're saying here is put the phone down, make those, first off, make those plans. And you probably have to use your phone to make those plans. But, make those plans, put the phone down, go meet up face to face with your people, with your friends, with your family. And because there's a lot of kids that live their life, like we said, behind a screen. And that could even be a TV screen on, video games and whatnot. The kids these days are just addicted to it.
Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly. All of that stuff. So, but
So I
anyways.
heard that Victor had an embarrassing story about you, Dave.
Did he?
That's what I heard.
Where'd you hear that? Which one do you want to hear?
See what I'm saying? Yeah, see what I'm saying?
No.
Does he?
Come on. You know David was perfect. Is
Okay.
perfect, was perfect.
Okay.
I mean, come on.
Okay. Now we're lying on the podcast. He was perfect. Okay. Yeah.
I would never lie. No.
Tell me one good one. Give me like a really good one.
No. See. No, I'm not going to do that to him.
No, go ahead. It's okay. It's fine, really.
No.
Give me an embarrassing story. Go ahead.
No, I don't have one. I actually have one of my father and myself, but I'm not going to embarrass David.
No, come on.
No,
It's fine, really.
no.
Go ahead.
I don't have one.
Yes, you do.
I know I don't. Don't argue.
What about the time you
I have one.
Don't argue with me. Go to your room.
Listen. I have
grounded.
I have one.
That's right.
I have one, and I think he's going to be surprised that I probably remember this. But like, you ever see that movie? I forgot. I think it was a Pixar movie, and it was something about like the people. It was like little like people that like lived inside like their heads, and they had like core memories and stuff. You know what movie I'm talking about? No. And the one guy was angry, and then like if the guy in the movie got, or like if like the little thing inside his head got angry, then the person got angry, like the actual human.
Is it like an 80s movie or like an early 90s movie?
No, that's right. It was out.
Yeah, that was like a couple
last
years ago.
Year. Yeah, a couple years ago. Yeah, I saw the trailer for it.
Yeah. Anyways, one of the things in the movie is they said like, oh no, that's a core memory that cannot be like broken or something, So I have a core memory of what happened this one time. So I don't know. I think it was just me and my dad. And we were grocery shopping or something. And we were like up a shop, right? I don't know how old I was. And he decided to play a prank on me. And like I was young. I had to have been under 10 years old. And he decided to play a prank on me. And like I don't know what I was doing, but I lost sight of him, and like he went and like hid like a few aisles down, and I literally freaked out. I think I remember crying, and
that was this afternoon.
I was gonna say this is a couple of years ago.
And like I remember like crying. Yeah, exactly. I was like,
wah.
And do you remember this?
No.
Oh wow. Okay. Wow. No. That was it. That was pretty embarrassing. Thanks.
So that's the story? You cried?
Yeah, I cried because my dad wanted to play a joke. Yeah,
Wow.
in the middle of ShopRite.
Wow.
Yeah.
Call CPS. I was a bad dad.
Oh my god. Dude, that's not even that's nice. Your dad was nice to you, bro.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. My dad one time he came up behind me. Okay, so here's the scenario. Here's the background. I was like 3 or 4, and I was in a snowsuit. This is in upstate New York. And my dad had a garage, a good 20 yards behind the house. One of those old school homes where they had like 3 homes and a basement and all that shit.
Yeah.
Well, the garage was way in the back. And I knew he was back there skinning a deer, and he caught a deer that year. So he was back there skinning a deer. And he said, hey, I'm going to go to the house. I'm going to go to the garage. Follow me back there. But he kind of hurried up, and I was like, what the hell? He was kind of quick. So, my little legs getting the snowsuit are just shuffling around the snow, slow as hell. And I'm just looking at the little light in the garage, and I got hope that I'm not going to get like eaten because it's the middle of the night. You know what I mean? Like I'm scared. I'm 3. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
It's dark
so I'm
outside.
like shuffling, and I remember my snow boots were like, and I was just like shuffling my little legs, my little toddler legs. And I was like, I don't see Dad anywhere. I don't see him anywhere. And I'm starting to freak out in my head. I remember this. Like I do remember this. It scared the shit out of me. And I get halfway there, bro, and I peek into the garage, and I don't see nothing. I don't dare go in there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, no, Dad's not here. I don't know what's going on. So I turn around and I'm shuffling my ass back to the house because I know better. I'm like, well, if he's not here, maybe he's still in the house and I'm out here by myself. I'm going to get killed, or some weird shit's going to have me. It was dark out. So I started running towards the house. And all of a sudden I start hearing like someone mimicking my steps, like, choo, 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 choo. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get abducted. You know what I mean? Sure enough, I felt 2 strong hands grab my waist. and chucked my ass 8 feet up in the air. 8 feet. I was airborne for a good 8 feet. I was just sailing. All I saw was the dark sky and the stars for like a second or two, bro. I almost shit my fucking pants. I come down, he catches me. He's like, raw. And I'm like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Crying. I'm just like tears all over the place. I get inside the house and my dad's like, oh, Mike is crying. And my mom was like, Ron, what did you do? What did you do? You know, and he's like, oh, I guess I scared him a little bit. Yeah, a little bit, you son of a bitch. You threw me 8 feet in the air. Felt like it was in a horror film, bro. And that's why I'm fucked up to this day.
That's a good one.
Classic. I'll never do that to my son. Never.
That's a good one.
Yeah. It was. Oh my God, terrorizing. I got him back though. Years later, I got him back.
That's good.
Yeah. I hid with a plastic sword one time.
Did you hit him with it?
In the corner of a hallway going towards my room. And when he came by, he didn't see me in the dark. It was just pitch black in the hallway. Light went out. So when he came by, I screamed and sliced him with a plastic sword. He jumped super high. He was like, "Oh my God!" Oh. And then he claimed to say that he was ready to fight. You know, I was like, "Yeah, whatever. You weren't ready to fight. You were scared. You probably shit your pants, Dad."
Nice. That's funny. But really, no embarrassing stories though for me?
No.
Oh, no. Okay. That's too bad.
No, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry I was a good dad.
There you go.
He's like, "I'm pleading the fifth on this."
Yeah.
Alrighty then. So with that, we can wrap it up.
Yeah, guys, make sure you wrap it up. All you young guys, don't want kids, wrap that up.
Dad joke. No, that's not a joke. Seriously, wrap it up.
Don't get lazy, fellas, because it's cheaper to buy condoms than have a child. I've done the numbers.
Alrighty, Mike. So hey, everyone, if you haven't already, follow us. Like we were just talking about all the social media stuff, but follow us, keep up with us, be notified every time a new episode comes out, and that'll be every Monday. So, anything else, Mike?
No, that's it. TTCL guys on Instagram, TTCL Pod, and on Twitter as well.
Yeah. Anything else, Dad?
No.
Okay.
No, good to be with you guys.
Yes. Thank you for joining us.
It was a pleasure.
Good to see you, Mike.
Again. It's been years.
Good to see you, pal.
Yes.
You too, man.
Alrighty. We'll catch you guys later.
Ciao.